I think I'll be okay. I feel like my brain just doesn't work as well later in the day. It's just really sad. Okay, so I was on the team to Thailand. I'm going to share a little bit about my outreach and just really what I learned, I guess, what I felt God taught me, and the big picture, I think. So yeah, basically coming to DTS, I was just really excited and like, yeah, you know, YWAM is going to be awesome. And I was telling people like, yeah, I'm saying to God, like, you know, I'll just go anywhere, you know, God send me anywhere and I'll go there. And that's what I said really in my heart to God. And when it came time for us to be decided where we were going, I really felt God sent me to Thailand, and I knew that was where I was gonna go, and I was okay with that. But at the same time, I was like, Thailand, I really have no clue at all about what Thailand is, and you know, I've just heard the name, and that's about it. So it was like, yeah, God said, well, you said you would go anywhere, so here you go. So God it wasn't necessarily testing me to stretch me in that sense of oh, you said you would go anywhere, but at the same time, you know, I've been to Uganda twice, and that was someplace that really touched my heart, and I just didn't necessarily have a heart for Thailand before I went. So as you saw in the video, we were in Chiang Rai for a total of 6 weeks, and that was really cool. But for me personally, honestly, that 6 weeks was pretty stretching and challenging. For one, because I'm used to outreach or ministry looking a certain way. I'm used to doing certain things, and so this wasn't what I was used to, I guess. So I believe like God was really stretching me and showing me that there's other ways to do ministry for one, but just other ways to show His love. So I guess through the first 6 weeks, I was just like, okay, what are we doing? You know, in Thailand, it's very offensive to just go up to somebody and like tell them your opinion or say, hey, you need this. Where it's kind of taken a little more, in some places, a little more easily. Like they'll kind of understand, but there it's really highly suggested that you build a relationship first, so they know that you care about them and what you have to say means something because you built a relationship with them. So yeah, the ministry just looked different, and so 6 weeks is quite a long time to just be building relationship, and where, you know, in my heart I was like, I just want to share the gospel with anybody, you know, on the street, and you know, whoever will listen, I'll talk to him. But we were asked to do things differently there, so that's what we did. And the second half of our trip was amazing. We spent 2 weeks in Royet, a place called Royet, with Ma and Pa, and they were incredible to us. And we spent another 2 weeks in Chiang Mai, which was literally life-changing. So I would say, I wouldn't necessarily say there's a contrast, but for me, I saw the fruits of the first 6 weeks, and most noticeably at the end of the 6 weeks, we had a English party / basketball team party where everybody we had met or built a relationship with, we invited, and they came and we shared the gospel with them. And that was an incredible time. D. Bates was able to come actually during his pastoral visit for the week. And yeah, he said he teared up or something. He was in the back of the room, and he was just watching. He's like, this is what we do missions for, you know, this is the reason why. But yeah, I'll keep it short because I was asked to. Doing my best. This is my trusty Nalgene. If you're gonna get a water bottle, get this thing. This thing, I saw other people go through water bottles. Rico had to buy several, and this thing has lasted me through good and bad, you know, dropping it thousands of times. Sponsored by Nalgene. You can see all the scratches on it. But anyway, for that interlude. Yeah, I would just say I I really learned, and I'm still learning, and I think I will learn looking back at this experience, to embrace the difficulties, to embrace the hard things in life, the hardships, because it will produce fruit if you embrace it. You know, it will bring you joy. You know, seeing your circumstances from a different perspective rather than trying to resist. And I really feel like the things that we go through in life, I think God has it under control, you know, like He knows what He's doing. And no matter if we choose to be in that situation, you know, God has His hand in it as long as we, you know, invite Him and allow Him to. And obviously, we all invited Him during this outreach, and He was there. So I really just learned to grow from the hard things. The first 6 weeks was personally hard for me, but you know, I saw the fruits of it, and so I didn't necessarily embrace the first 6 weeks. I'm learning now, but it's good to look back, and that's what I would share with, especially the winter DTS, is to embrace the hard things on outreach and during lecture phase 2 as much as you can, and God will give you grace. You know, if you humble yourself, the Bible says God gives grace to the humble. So humble yourself and say, God, this is hard, and He'll give you grace to embrace it. Yeah, and allow God to stretch you, and it will produce great benefits. And kind of like what Sean, the leader of the Skaters DTS, said, that just forget comfortability. Like, outreach in Thailand was hard, but really, I got this analogy while I was sitting here, and just of like a father and his son building a bike together. And the father really gives more of the work to his son, just because he wants him to see the end result. He knows what will be produced in the end. And the son just sees like, oh, I have to put these random parts together. Like, what is this going to do? And he probably forgets the end result a lot. And I just think like really just embracing like each moment. And really, through the process, the joy is in the process. And God, I see God's perspective is looking at it like, yes, I see the end result. And I see what's going to come from this person's life. You know, I see the good things. And we, at times, just see what's right in front of us. And understandably, we're human. But, yeah, just during this outreach, I was able to see that, a different perspective. And maybe I didn't see it all the time during outreach, but towards the end, you know, really seeing the perspective and really embracing the Chiang Mai. We were hanging out with the kids of human trafficking, and God really gave me a heart for those kids, and I fell in love with them. But it was just awesome to see each individual part to make up the whole. Now looking back at outreach and just the beautiful masterpiece that God really used our team to build and create, it was amazing. So yeah, my encouragement to you guys, I guess, I somehow come up with a really lesson from a story in my testimony, but my encouragement would just to be like, remember the end result, and not to resist, but to embrace the things that God has set in front of you. Just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they embraced the fire and the things that, you know, God placed that test in front of them. But yeah, the end result really is our lives are to bring God glory. And if we remember that end result, everything we do today as a day-to-day process, if we remember to bring God glory, you know, it'll bring us joy through the process, you know, it'll bring us the fruits and God's joy, and the joy of the Lord will be our strength. So yeah, just remember that your life is to bring God glory.